Hello, hello. Good early evening. I've gotten all the questions full, so thank you for showing up, but it's already filled up. That's how it should be. Yep, we have all 5 questions taken, and I will get into those. Just checking in to see and say hi to my mod, Isadora. Hello. And to Lori Christine, Patty D'Agostino, we've got your questions down. And Gina and artist Liz. All right. And Art Hart, hello. Got your question. All right. So I've got a new deck to bring to the counter today to you guys. It's really beautiful. It's called Soul Seeking Seed. I know it's really kind of pretentious in a way, but I like the art. And they have some interesting cards, so we'll try and pull these in as an extra. Just some of the artwork. It's really nice. And it's something that when you see it, it's like, could I read from that? Could that draw me in? That's one of the things that I have to see the artwork. And yeah, quite nice. Anyways, we'll break this out and see what we get from it. I might have to look at the book. Comes with a nice little flexible pamphlet, but it's in color. That's kind of costly to even the usually like the inside pages are usually black and white, because it's expensive. But they've got color in there too. So anyhow, beautiful. Oh yeah, and nice font and everything. But anyway, so we'll employ this today. And I've got your questions. I just kind of want to warm up a little bit. I've got a few decks here. My space is a mess. All right. And I've got a pink, the I've got back the pink Rider-Waite deck. So I'm just going to start shuffling it up. We have not had sun here for I don't know how long. I'm serious, for like 2 weeks or more. And it's just finally out today. But in an hour, it'll just be perfect for me to get off of here and go outside because the rays won't be as intense. I keep a watch on the UV rays. There's like this little app that I have down in my lower right that tells me my temperature and all of that. It's a widget. Oh, and it's like right now there's high UV, so reduced time in the sun. Because like if you look out there, you think, yeah, it's hazy. Better wear the hat and all the screen. But also you got to be careful of some of that sunscreen because some of those chemicals, I'm serious, from what I was reading up on, it's like, I'm gonna go towards something more natural and use a hat and I'm good. But you don't realize the heat here because it's not humid. It's rarely humid. Not like Missouri, where I spent the first 17 years of my life, which I know that hot and humid heat and that freezing cold winter. I know what that feels like. And I know why fall is often the favorite season of Midwesterners. It's also beautiful, but because it's finally where you can go outside without it being one extreme or another. Anyhow, summertime along the San Francisco coast means fog until August. And, it's getting a little late now. We're getting towards September here. So summer is running late as per usual in the Bay Area. But hey, I can't complain. I'm, you know, every place has got something and I'm dealing with what's here. Just like anybody wherever they are. I'm happy to be here. Well, at least I'm happy to be where I'm at. I hope you are too, wherever you are. All right. That's what happens when I start talking with my hands. My husband talks with his hands. I always have to watch, like seriously, I always got to kind of watch where the cutlery and the little glasses are because when I see him, he's half Italian, you know. I see him start going, it's like, I'm gonna move that glass. All right, let's just get these nice and kind of warmed up. I like this background because you see how the fog is moving over the moon. That's kind of like how it gets here. And it's the view of the moon, the full moon over the ocean that you see when you come around Cabrillo Highway, going south on Highway 1 in Northern California. It is like it just mind blowing when you see that. And back when I could drive, I could uh, be coming back and see amazing views like that. So I chose this background. Yeah, yeah, I can never get that right. Oh, Sheila sees stuff. Hey, 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 how are you? Yeah, and it's unusual. You know, I'm always like looking to, because the artists that make these, they have their, you know, software and stuff to do it, and they don't charge much, you know, and I like to give the artist the money and not AI. You know, you can always spot AI, and I don't mind to a certain degree if something is like corrected or fixed, but you can see AI, you know, and I don't. It's creepy. It is creepy. It creeps. It puts up the creep factor on the back of my neck, and I think most people it does too. It's like when you ever see the AI videos of our favorite actors and entertainers and how they've aged or some have passed away and the way they come on and they're like but they're dead that there's behind the eyes it's just a facade, you know, it's so creepy. That's why it's like, oh, that is just so weird. I don't like those. I do like to see the difference in how people's lives have aged them. I think it's an interesting story. And, you know, even if people have used surgery, well, then that's part of their story. But the AI thing, I don't like the way it unnaturally, I don't know. Does it bother you? Thumbnails and images are as far as I go. Yes, Sheila. I like some of the what you can do artistically that way. I don't like the fact though that they're using the theft of that imagery from artists. So like I'm going to be doing my own drawings for my little oracle that I want to do, which I'm just too exhausted right now to even get going on. But at some point I will. I've gotten the intention is there. I've gotten two blank decks and I've found my markers, but my life's insane right now. I didn't catch up with you guys. More insanity ensues um, here in Northern California in my home. My husband's car starts going out on him. He literally blows a gasket, I think. We're having to get that done. My daughter's car, someone hits her. Goes through a This young man goes through a stop sign. He had just gotten his truck, his transmission fixed, and he went through the stop sign. And so she's got little whiplash she's dealing with. My cat, and then you know we have a guest of my one of my kids that's staying with us. That's getting himself sorted. You know, that's one of the things they say about the Murphy last name is brave and hospitable, and it's very true, I have to say. Because at the Hughes house, it'd be like, no, we would put people up too, um, but not creep probably as much as warmly as my husband's family. So that helped me to learn to do that, and I'm glad to do it. because one of the things, after my accident was I received a lot of help pre-internet, 1986, folks. Yeah, the Stone Age. My dad was an associate professor at the college, but they had, spread the word around the school, and the school, my one of the secretaries that looked after the teachers of my like my dad, spread the word around and collected. They did a collection for me. I mean, and got me to Shriners. I mean, like, I know that people are more than, good than bad. And so when I get a chance to pitch in to help someone else, it is to me like you darn well I'm doing it. So that's one of the reasons why you'll see me posting on here and stuff. And I know not everybody can donate, but I want to explain that a little bit when you see a donation. And to me, it's just I don't make a lot of money on this channel, as you can well imagine. Um, and what I do, would definitely, it's like $100. It definitely will go toward uh, trying to get word out and, you know, I'm sorry, I have to stop in the middle of this. It's stealing jobs, and that's a hard no. Correct. And I can't do it with the AI thing like that. Like to make fun of Trump, I totally will do it. Yes, that's right. You help people, but don't abuse my generosity. Correct. Correct. You have to learn how to have a hard boundary. Um, that's for sure. And there's been so many crazy cases recently. And of course, with Trump's era of insanity that we're living through, you know, but that's one of the reasons why I will put those up. And I put the money that we get a little bit toward here off my channel toward to help others, literally like pay it forward a bit because so many I sometimes I stop and I think about all these kids. They were kids back then because I was only 17, and these were, well, there was mostly young people at the college, but there were some older students, you know, that returned back to school, but mostly, as you know, it would be uh kids that are 18 and up, but they rallied together and it was just touching that they paid for my father's flight, and it was expensive back and forth, from KCI out of Kansas City's airport to San Francisco. So they paid for my flight to come out. They put me out in not the kids, but the Shriners did through my dad's went the secretary of the school that I was talking about that raised the collection. Well, her husband was a Shriner, and that's how there was a Shriners here in San Francisco on 19th Avenue, and that's where I first went. And it's so odd because like my mom had just moved here when I had my accident. So I had a choice of places I could go. Chicago was one of them, but I chose to go because I figured I was supposed to go. I was supposed to go to California, and I was supposed to move out anyway. So I ended up going, and that's how I got here. And it's also why you'll see me donating money and posting it here. But like I said, I understand in this economy that people can't. But even just viewing my channel, enduring it will help to pay for that donation. So just to let you know, you don't have to do it in the typical way. I don't mean to make people feel under pressure. I really don't. So I just want to mention that. Yeah, you don't like the self checkouts at stores? No, no. I've done that too. That's always a hassle. There's always something wrong, and you end up having to call on someone else that's supposed to be working there, you know? It's just, I feel like we're being cheated out of, and people are who could be employed there being cheated out of work. And the customers being cheated out of good care. You know, it's not a good business form, if you ask me. It's frustrating hearing that AI is stealing artists' creative. Yes. And see, it's just like it's insidious is the word. So I really try not to mess with it. Like I said, there's a few times where I will use it where Trump is concerned because I can really put my put my humor, my dark humor into a form that you all can enjoy and have a good laugh in a way that's very more realistic that, you know, I will do that. But I've got firm, hard boundaries. So you'll be seeing, and I prefer, honestly, to see the real artwork from various people like this lady from Australia, Oracle of the Rose. You know, there's a part of a person's, I don't know. My dad was a painter, so like right now I'm looking across at this large painting on my wall that looks like an English garden of the hoity-toities, you know, of the rich folk. It has all the topiaries and the, oh, I forget, there's a certain name for that shaped, uh, you know, shrubbery. Dang, you know, I'm blanking on it. Anyway, I know coming from an art professor and a painter, and much of my family's friends, they're, you know, were involved in art, that how much that means, how much that people's soul is in that. Some of their spirit is being expressed. And I think maybe that's what's creepy is we see that even though they're stealing this image, there's something flat about it. It lacks soul. That's what's creepy. Oh, I forgot to turn on my coffee cup heat. Hold on. I'm having my rare cup of coffee. I limit it to two little ones a day, but I do like it. I do need it. Let's see what y'all are saying. I'm getting warmed up now. And thank you all for being here, who's ever listening in. And I will be getting to read on the questions, the five that have that came in early and got their questions in. That's the way you got to do it. Um, all right. So, yep. AMC says if I wanted to be a cashier, be a cashier. There we go. You know, and some of us have physical impairments. Like I am a paraplegic. Uh, sometimes stuff, although I'm very strong, I'm very lucky for that because I know of many other people that are even more impaired than myself, you know? Um, so yeah, you know, Amanda, come back if you don't get your question answered. Yeah, because we're all full up, but if you don't get it answered by next Sunday, I have next Sunday. You just have to post your question early here to get in. Because even with five questions, it's going to be taking me a little bit of time because I like to give people a, a good reading. You know, what's the point of giving the message if I don't feel like I'm getting it through? Yeah, yeah, I'll know what I mean. I'm old school, so forgive me here. Yep, and Crumby says AI is why I stopped posting my art. Humans stealing it as well. Yeah, unless you want to riddle it with different watermarks, um, you want to be really careful. Because like sometimes even if you just want to save the image for just let's say your screen decoration on your computer and you have no nefarious intent of trying to replicate that image and make money off of it, um, it still can be very hard to save that image. They are getting where they've where you can layer the watermark. Hey, Amanda, no problem. See if there's not another live going on to get that question. Sorry, though, love. Mm, let's see. Walmart. And see, they've taken over. I remember when we had mom and pop shops because I'm Gen X, and then we saw those get run out of business by the Walmarts coming in through from coast to coast. And there began the lack, if you ask me, of personal kind of a touch or consideration. Even in my little coastal town here, we've had just only recently our Rite Aid closed. The people working there and I knew each other for over 20 years. And they knew my meds, they knew my needs. It's so old fashioned, but it's something that it's called community. It shouldn't be old fashioned. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if I'm in New York and I'm just in this little neighborhood, Brooklyn or whatever. Let's say I go, they should, people should know each other. There should be a warmth. We don't want this cold, robotic crap. So, and they accuse people of stealing. Well, that's embarrassing. My God. I'm forever forgetting something in my backpack of my wheelchair. I have, can't tell you how many times, and this is going to sound horrible, but before I started getting chronic pain at about 48, good thing I did a lot of my traveling because I frequently carry a pocket knife in my backpack. That's metal, you know, and like there's like those alarms that go off, but like I would set those off sometimes. Now that was back, I can remember that back in that must have been like the 90s or mid 2000s, to be honest. I'm dating myself here. But let me tell you, folks, it's a fast slope after 35. That's all right. I'm really liking more of who I am as I age. And I look back at my past, even at 35, and go, who was that? I like myself as I age much better because I'm making changes. I'm growing and changing. All right. Let's see what you guys are saying. We'll pop back. You thought about doing your coloring book through KDP, but that seems not to be a good idea either. Ooh, I love that. You know what? I've got one over here that I was just thinking of. I need to just take my eyes and my brain off the computer more than I am. I can always make excuses to stay on longer because I can do so many things. But to use the other part of my brain where normally, you know, offline we'd be reading or creating art, and with my disability, it's perfect. So I just need to get back to even just doing that and getting my brain, those muscles, creative muscles, moving again. I think really from what I'm seeing with like my dad who was a tremendous painter, but with age and stroke, um, just losing that ability and seeing that he doesn't and didn't maintain movement. He didn't like exercise. He was sitting in front of, the TV, and I just don't think that's good for him, and I think it's contributed to problems. So I think it's really important uh, to say that all of us just remember we need to keep moving as much as it can pain us. That's why I try and get my pain meds so I can get up and move. Um, and even without them, I still always feel better after I've been up for probably half of that an hour because it's the initial arthritis, you know? And that starts early, folks. We just wear out these bodies. You have your artwork up on Instagram, but I think I will now take it down. Your account got hacked. That's the problem. Oh, and someone monetized off your work. That stinks. That stinks. That's why I don't, like I've said, I know that you can watermark your work. I would just say you do it, make sure that any, even just an image off your easel, if you're just taking a quick, in progress shot, I would put a watermark on it because it's a shame that you can't present your work so you could be employed, at least make a little money off your art. So definitely look into the watermarking. I know that there must be a good business for that with this kind of hacking, right? There must be something good. Oh, don't blame you. Black Cat, is it too late to join your list? The question list? Yes, babe, I am sorry. But if you don't find another reader that can answer your question before next Sunday, if you get here early enough and get your question posted in, um, for next Sunday's live, and I post the next live after I finish this live so I don't forget. So, like next Sunday, like you could post it as early as tonight for next week, as long as you're going to be here. So, you just have to do it early because it goes quick. With all the computer work, we're losing our ability for critical thinking. That's just it. And I just really feel that it's important that we don't just allow the screens, whether it's a television screen and watching old movies all day or the computer screen. I think we need to get out and touch grass, like they say, and do other things, get our hands involved in stuff, even if we're disabled, because I'm disabled. And it's especially important for us because when we lose just a little bit of independence, it's a lot. So we've got to keep our hand and arm strength going, and we can't get too big. Got to watch the chocolate. And it's kind of hard. You can't if you can't run. So I switched to dark chocolate because that's good for you in limits, right? But thank you for coming in, sweetheart. And do understand. So if you can't find someone to get to your question, come back. Or if you want to just join in for next week, pop your question in later tonight and you'll be one of the first for next week because that's how I do it. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. We have artist Liz as numero uno here. And artist Liz has a channel. Please do check it out. She does do collective readings. All right. She says, I am thinking of writing a book as a cosmic communicator, ET experiencer, and everything that I have learned from them. Also, being a psychic, empathic, etc. Do you see if it will do well? I just intuitively, even just hearing that, feels like a great idea. I feel like, yeah, you should do it. For some reason, I want to use this deck that I was just talking about earlier. The seed, the soul's seeking seed. Why do they have to make it like that? Soul seeker. It's what my brain wants to do. It's like, let me correct that for you. All right. It's a matte deck, really beautiful artwork, but it's probably going to be prone to shredding with the way that I shuffle. All right, let's see if artist Liz, if she manifests this book of communication and her downloads and what she's learned being an empath, I think you would definitely have the audience. I mean, like, I'd certainly read the book. I think the thing gets caught up in the editing. What I've noticed with a lot of people that have made accounts, including my own grandmother, of her story coming over to America, was you've got to get a good editor because it can make reading a book a breeze or hell. Um, and it can turn a good story into a something you cannot read, illegible. All right, let's see. Artist Liz, is there a book, this book idea? How does that look for her? Does that look like it will manifest in a good way? What does she need to know about it? Since this is the first time using this deck, I was really trying to get it shuffled up. All right, I think this is good. You're getting a card of renewal. So it's saying cicada and what does it say? Sedum. But there's a bee, like the pollen. So we have renewal. And it looks like it looks like the little succulents I have in the garden. All right. Renewal. And we have perception. And we have fox and flax. These are the seeds. Because this is a seed deck. Yeah. So this is, I think, looking good. I think renewal might be that there's a new set of people that might come across that information. And this is information that you've held for a while, and it's making, I think, it is renewing information. There's renewal attached to that. And when I think about the succulents, and there's little succulents, right? Can you see them? Yeah. Those things are endure. And we've got the bee here. So this is, I think, definitely like what you have endured and learned being shared. And the perception card, it's all about that, isn't it? It is about learning to adjust our perception and not just live and see things through a 3D human way because we're not just human. And so I think this is a very good, yeah, I do too. I love bees. I think this is indicating this is a good chunk of information that should be in a book. And there's something about, like you said, the perception and perhaps with what you would have to share regarding the communications that you've had with ETs and what you've come to understand, that would be like a refresher, a renewal uh, of wisdom that has been around for a long time. I just think about those succulent plants. Those are old. You know, they come from the desert. They endure. And flax. You know, flax has a lot of the Latvians, my mom's side of the family, love flax. It's where you get the linen, and they're known for their linen clothing. Also, it has omegas, flax seeds. So good to sprinkle those on your salad and stuff. So this is a positive card, and it is about having an enhanced awareness and perception, your ability not just to see what's in front of you, but to perceive. It's not just, to me, it's deeper than just seeing something. What you see more deeply. Okay. So I think it would enhance the perception and awareness of other people if you do. Yeah, there's the book. I'm sorry. There's the card of tranquility, and we get the dove and the dandelion. Isn't that beautiful? I feel like it's readily accessible, available, like a dandelion and a dove, and it's there's goodness there and awareness. What are the chances? I need to take my flaxseed oil again. You cried getting the information from them bees. Oh yes. Oh. And this is awareness. It's the quail. I love quail. If you ever get a chance to see them, little, videos of them with their babies, they're so cute. And what does it say? Quince. Sorry, it's a different font, and I don't have bifocals. Look how beautiful. So tranquility and awareness are paired together. This is definitely, to me, a green light to make that book, that it would help uh, people to have greater perspective and awareness and greater calm and peace with that dove, the dandelion. I do have an affection for dandelions. And you know what? If you get the organic dandelions or grow them yourself, making sure that it's not full of chemicals and dog pee, um, they're very healthy. They taste good when they're young. The older they get, the it's changes the flavor. But I love the colors too. And you're an artist, so as well. Awareness. Look at that. And look at all the blossoms and all these numerous blossoms, possibilities of different, I feel like awareness becoming switched on. And that's what we're doing right now because I had only recently had that dream, which some of you have heard about, where one of my guides let me know you need to remember who you are before Earth. And it took me a moment because I had to put down our human goggles. And who I was is a light. And but not just a flat light, where there's a soul in there. And that's who we truly are. And we're really loving beings. This is this is a sideshow that we're engaged in down here. Um, that we've actually, yeah, set up for ourselves. Like we're some kind of rock and roll adventure people. I don't know. Anyway, this is gaining wisdom for us. It truly is, though. I gotta say, going through the accident and all this hard stuff, yeah, it made me. It didn't give me another choice. And boy, when I had a choice, did I try not to settle down when I should have. But eventually I did. And, that's life. So you're also getting the card of vision, firefly and fuchsia. Ooh, I've been working in the garden. So, I'm loving all this. I wish we had fireflies out here in Northern California at the coast. Yes, I'm really getting that it would be good because you would be expanding people's awareness. Even if it's just 10 people, those 10 people matter. It could be more, it doesn't matter. But here's the thing. This matters just by that you're helping switch on people's greater awareness. And it's like what I see in my mind is once we do that for each other, with just like my guides help to switch on that light, remember who you were. Remember who you no, remember who you are. Remember who you were before Earth. And it was like his words before Earth seemed to trigger then in what I could see myself as a really bright kind of ambery light. And it's like, wow. And it's like, it seemed like, oh yeah, you know, but it makes sense to me now. Even when I was a kid, I always was thinking, am I really here? What is this? Just being in a body, just being a human animal is weird to me. All right. Sorry. If you're going to get a reading, you're going to get a bit of my tittle tattle in here as well. So we also have the card of harmony, and this is, oh God, I love these cards. This is the card of the bird, the thrush and thistle. Love those. This is very, I think, organic. People would, I don't feel, I think people will intuitively be able to receive the information clearly here. And you're expanding their awareness and vision and perception. I mean, vision and harmony. They have a more harmonious perspective or vision and awareness of the opportunity to create a more harmonious one because you've armed them with a different suggestion of thought to think about. All they have to do is think about it. If it doesn't fit for them, whatever. But to me, you're getting too many cards that are enriching and that I think are a go. So harmony and the enhancing of awareness, definitely. And beautiful vision. Two more quick cards. Okay, we have Lily of the Valley and we have a Luna Moth. So this is about transition. Paired with, make sure I grab the sync one. Ooh, introspection. You're going to make people think. You get the orange blossom. I love those. And you have the owl. So these introspection and transition, I think really maybe helping people to think a little bit more flexibly, neuroplasticity going on, actually, and making them think to themselves. It's so important, critical thinking skills. And I don't know if any of you remember back in the day, but I remember, gosh, even just back in the 90s and the 2000s when they started cutting the schools and dumbing us down, I thought this is really going to affect the literacy. And so one of the things I did when my kids were in school was I volunteered as a helper, an assistant for reading literacy and help kids that had trouble reading. And so help me, I really want to get back and do that again because a lot of the youngest generation can apparently many of them are not very literate. And it doesn't surprise me and it sickens me because I can remember them saying more cuts and more cuts, and that's what they've done to kids in public schools. Not good. But here is the good news. Your book, if you should make it and get it out there, looks like it would be very effective in helping people to expand their thinking, awareness, and the propensity for growth. I think, yet it's kind of like you're creating also a fertile field for more thought because you've activated, you know, their thinking process. So I think it's a good sign. You're welcome. Here we go. Number 2, Lori Christine. All right, let me get a sip of my coffee. And I'm gonna see, I've already begun to scuff the deck a little bit. I got little hands. What can I say? A sip of my coffee. Oh, okay. And I've got my candle lit. I just want you to know that every day I'm lifting up intentions, the intentions of my subscribers in the world, because there's so many of us that are in need, especially because the darkness that we're currently experiencing has become quite something. As Shakespeare said, was it, hell is empty and the devils are here? That's the truth. So, but don't worry, we're going to get through it. In fact, we're going to be kicking some butt. All right, when will I get a new job that pays enough to live on? Oh dear, I'm so sorry. These are hard times for people to be able to get enough jobs if they can find one to feed themselves and house themselves. So I understand. My hours at the current job were just cut in half. And a lot of this going on. And what for? So CEOs can have another house in Paris or their own island? I forgot. It's not just, you know, thank you, Artist Liz, for your super sticker. Okay. So I deserve, yes, you do, to have a great job that pays you very well and respects you. Yes, you do. Unfortunately, what they've done is they made those for basically their own. They it's hard to get the good jobs now. It's really just been kind of cut off so that they can earn more and more money. And it just doesn't, it's not right. It's just greed. And that's why they need to go hit rock bottom. And that's what we're doing. Unfortunately, we have to let these people know that they can't do it to us anymore. We have to reclaim our power. No one's coming to save us. And that's why democratic socialism is very, very appealing and getting some things done. So that's where the current effort is, and that's what I'm doing. And I like that they know that if they don't, we're going to come for them because we're not playing anymore. And I think that's why Republicans are so shit scared. Anyway, let's look at your job and I'm sending you just in prayer an angel to help you to find work, income, money so that you are not without and to find you a good job. And just being realistic with you, there's so much competition now, even for jobs that are not that great, as you guys know. I don't have to tell you. So, Lori Christine, another job that where she is respected and pays her a livable wage that is comfortable with, enough left over in case something, the pipes break or something. You know how it goes. That money you set aside for in case of emergency, now you can't even have that money set aside these days. It's redonkulous. Thanks, Trump, you turnip. All right, Lori Christine, new employment with respect and income. Will she find that? What does she need to know about that? Because she is looking. What should she keep in mind? What would be helpful to find that job? And is it there for her? What is the likelihood? What does she need to be aware of? Lori Christine. All right, going to use my regular Rider-Waite, and then I might pull a few cards from a completely different deck and see what we get for you, okay? All right. Here's all that money. Here's the business. Sorry, I got to move this because my mouse is resting right over the camera where I'm looking at. All right. So we got the Ten of Pentacles paired with the loss card. All right, so we're tracking. There's the loss of maybe a good paying job. Also, I would say it would feel like was their sense of like, well, people there, a sense of connection. But this is also big money. And just look, okay. All right, I'm already getting some of the message here with the Five of Cups. Now, you notice that with the Five of Cups, the head is focused on those, I always throw myself off, on the cups that are overturned, that have spilled, and what was in them is lost. But what is behind you, or what you're not aware of right now because you're focused on the loss, is you still have opportunities, at least two ones, it looks like behind you. So, figuratively, it's saying, this has been a great loss to you. Three cups overturned, things are spilled, you are in mourning and grieving. So, also know you have a reason to feel how you feel. Allow yourself to have your feelings, yeah? You work for a private equity firm. Okay, that makes sense. And I've heard those jobs are awful. I'm so sorry. But that's why we have that card. Okay. So I'm getting this door is shutting, but another one is possible to open here on the back. There's two things there, and it might be two decisions. It could be two offers, or two different kinds of jobs that you'll have to probably at some point consider. Just keep that in mind to be flexible and to keep a positive as much as you can. Just get, perseverance, positive perseverance. You may not feel like up to that yet, and that's fine because you got to get through those feelings. That's a smack. But it's also an opportunity to get out of a toxic, greedy environment, perhaps, because there's loss. All right, let's see what else we get. We get the Knight of Wands and Judgment. There's a new awareness coming. I think this is actually good for you in some way. Um, this is a greater awareness. This is the angels blowing their trumpet so that we finally aren't distracted by the day to day way that we live and we pay attention. So I think this is actually showing an opportunity for you to have more passion in the way that you're living with that Knight of Wands, which is a fiery card. And on the positive side, it's about being creative and going out, being active, doing things you like to do, etc. Whether you like to paint or sing or just, whatever your creative, fun ideas are toward that. But this is a huge change with the Judgment card too. Um, Realizing your worth. So it's not just you're not just going to settle for anything. And you're saying, I have so much work experience doing many different types of jobs. I'm intelligent, hardworking. I am a great employee. I need to manifest abundance and prosperity right now. Well, the first thing is that the control, this thing to control it, I know that you're going to have to loosen up a little bit. And this is what's going to teach you right there. It's coming, but this is a learning experience. You got to put that energy in a different direction. All right. Now you have the card of the Seven of Cups and the Nine of Swords. So don't l- don't let like delusions or fears keep you from sleeping, getting rest. There is more than one way to do what it is you're seeking, this better paying job that is gives you the comfortable life that you want and that you want quickly. But the problem is if you go too quickly, you can lose out discernment. Yeah. So there's a need to pull back and rest because this worry card is just making problems for you, creating a lack of sleep. And it's also giving the message of there's more than one way, no matter what someone tells you. Okay. And I've had that card mean something to me in my life before where I was really, not kidding, really thought that there was only a few ways that something was going to work out. And something had to be completely different to work out for the better. And when I let go of that and that manifested, it made sense to me. But that's what this card is saying. There's something else there that you may not be getting because you're too wrapped up and worried and concerned with understandably losing your job. But this is meant to be a learning experience and for you to hold yourself, I think, to account as well. Your value, your worth, as you said, and make sure that you are employed by somebody that appreciates that. Now, here's a new start. I like that with the Ace of Wands, getting active. And maybe something from the past with the Six of Cups, or someone from your past that you got along with. This person would be someone that might say, "Oh, yeah, I heard that so and so is hiring," or that kind of thing. They give you that little bit of help. See, like the bigger kid is giving the little kid a flower. It's a nice little thing to do. It means a lot. Well, this card is often a card of nostalgia, the past, but it's also that thing of doing somebody a favor, being a solid. good person. And because we got this start here, this new fire starting, it makes me feel like this is a possible favor, like, or someone that's sharing information with you from your that you might have known, maybe working here or somewhere else. It's like there's a start in that direction. Let's see what else you get. So don't give them the power to make you panic. Reclaim that. I know that's so easy to say, but look, you're going to live through it. But you got to stand up for yourself and your boundaries, as you're saying right there. That's the Nine of Wands. You're very strong. All right. And it is paired, yeah, with the Ten of Wands. So you need to watch out with burning yourself out by trying to push the river on this. You see, pouring all that energy in, you're frustrating yourself. You're going to need to ease up a little bit with that and realize I might need to just be open enough and not push so hard. All right. The okay, what was that? The top it was dysfunctional and top yep. See, I feel like the divine is trying to help you get out of that and go towards something that you would actually be more fulfilled in spiritually, mentally, and physically, that your needs would be met, that you'd be comfortable enough to feel like you were like honestly, um, I feel like I'm lucky. Other people might say, You're not very wealthy." Well, I don't have to be. I don't need a big house. I just need to be able to house my family, take care of my kids that have special needs, and my own as a disabled adult. So I feel that I'm lucky. You have to sometimes change your perspective a little bit. And living and working in that kind of a toxic environment is bound to make you become crazier than a shithouse rat, as we say where I grew up. I mean, let it go. Don't let them control your that energy. If you can, would be so much better put toward living your best life and working on finding a different direction. Open, keep open. You might need to create it. Yeah, here we have the bully mentality. And this is the ruthlessness of some people cutting your job like that. For what? Uh, doesn't look like they're saving much, right? And also, you don't want to work for pennies for somebody that's a jerk. There's no amount of money that is enough when you're getting an ulcer because you work for a jackhole, you know? So it's important that the type of work you have and how you feel, even if as long as it pays your bills and has you able to go and do what you like to do, what you get joy from, I think that's being wealthy. And as long as you're not having to work for a jerk, yeah. Okay, now we're getting two males here, a king of swords and a king of cups. These could be the two of cups that were standing up behind the image on the five of cups that was grieving over the loss. I wonder if this is like job potential out of two individuals or something connected. Yes, there's the sun, which is going to bring clarity and light and warmth and positivity or directional information. You know, the lantern in the dark. Oh, look at that. Yes, change is coming, girl. And maybe even movement. Moving, I don't know, or moving the job. There's definitely a good change coming and possibly connected through a couple of fellas. Maybe you worked along with them at some point at other jobs in the past. Maybe that's where that past connection is. Let's just keep it in mind, okay? And don't worry, this is on record, so this live is recorded. You can play this part back and listen to your part over again, okay? Um, we have a good change coming. There is joy with the sun. There's freedom. Look at, and to me, there's positive change coming, but you're going to have to release a good bit of trying to control it too much in certain ways. All right. Two managers would rather watch me and coworkers on camera be short-staffed and frustrated than come and help you. So you need to work with different people. You need to work with different people. There's going to be change, but something is not clear or hasn't gelled kind of behind under the scenes. It's things are happening that we are not aware of. There's the secretive factor, especially where there's a King of Wands concerned. Now, again, I'm not sure who this is, but this could be a man that knows secrets or secrets about a man, but somehow something coming out or being exposed where maybe these two, as you were saying, maybe that's it, is going to come through. It looks like a secret that breaks open. And there's a King of Wands that is either the person instigating this or that carries the secret or learns the secret because his card, an adult male, there is attached to that card of secrecy. Something that's veiled, he knows something. Should you contact a former employee that you sold jewelry for? Or no, I would. Heck yeah, I would. I'd say, hey, and leave it to them. If they don't want to do business with you, that then they can decide that. Um, you can reach out. I would reach out to them, Lori Christine. I would, especially if you had good rapport. I would just say I'm working. Looking for a job right now. I'm working uh to figure out what I want to do, and right now I have some items for sale or whatever, it is. Yeah, I don't see what's the problem because I get something from the past, a past connection, I think could be really important and help to open up something new and for you to go in a new direction. And I think let karma take care of these fools because you were great at silver. That's something. You know what? It's hard to do with retail. Yes, you should. You know, there's one of your gifts then. And making sure that people get good made, a well-made, beautiful piece of jewelry that they feel positive about. Because who's going to want to wear something when they've had maybe a negative interaction, right? You're going to feel more positive about honestly wearing something if you have a good interaction with the seller. It was a high-end store, I'm sure it was. And you can do that. I think the creative aspect, go in that direction. Go where your passion lies and worry, a little less about a big, big, big income. Just go the direction of your heart and, making sure you can pay your bills. But I think you're doing that. All right. So yes, but I think you're going to have to get through like everybody, kind of the period of letting go of this and stepping toward a new direction. It's coming though, and it's good. So let go of the worry. And when you start to worry, go maybe take a walk or listen to some music, a warm bath, even if it's in the middle of the night. Because a lot of times once we rest, that's when our brain starts going, you know. You can even just get like a notepad and write down your ideas if you can't sleep. And then you'll, just the enemy is going to be wearing yourself out with worry or negative feelings about this place. when you need to focus on your own well-being. That's a toxic environment. Definitely tell whoever you need to tell about it, but take care of you. All right? For real. And if you do run a jewelry business, hey, send me a link. I love jewelry. Can't you tell? My husband will be going, no, don't. All right. All right. Now we have Patty DiAgostino. Hello, Patty. See, it's a terrible economy right now. I saw that with the cards off camera few 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was just looking at it. Okay, Patty says, hi, all. I hope all is well. You're laid off from your 27-year-old data entry position in a youth center. That sucks big time. On your birthday? No. I know your 62nd. You know what? We need people like you. You are a union member and you have coverage through, let me go back. I got to go back to your questions. Da, 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 da. Sorry, you have to give me a mo. Let me just connect up. Let's see. Patty, Patty, Patty. You popped in early. Okay, there we go. Until April of 27, so spring of next year. Okay. That's coming sooner than we'd all like. I would like to know if the union will find a job for you until you're eligible for Medicare. Got you. If the union finds me a job, then you'll have the medical insurance immediately. Right. My husband, oh God, I'm blanking on the job he did for a while with the electrical union that he's part of at he was a shop steward. Shop steward. Okay. So if you lose your health insurance, you have to look for a non-union job to pay for New York State Health Marketplace health coverage. Isn't that a B word? All right. And then, of course, Isadora is saying if you have the option for health care, go to a broker who deals in health insurance. I just like to try to get these all right, for other people because I don't have to do that yet. But my husband, when he goes to retire, I will have to. And that, my pre-existing condition of paraplegia, we're hoping that I'll be able to go onto was it Medicare? Right. Okay. Yes, it would be a great economy if not for corporate greed. If they paid their share, we'd have really great, you know, the I'm forgetting the word now, not the time for this. You know, the maintenance of our roads and all of that, and schools and things like that. Our food wouldn't we wouldn't be having to deal with this. We all know that, and we're going in that direction, folks. We've been to the pits of hell. We're going to be going toward the other way, but we got to shovel the manure that they've left. All right, so anyways, let me get back to Patty DiAgostino's question about the union finding her a job. All right, let me get to that. Okay, there we go. All right. I feel like I want to use a different deck. I got a few here around me. Let's try that seed deck again just for something different. I love the artwork on it. And I feel like that's why I like oracles more like that. And I don't think that this is AI. Although, you know what? I'm going to start looking and double checking. Usually you can tell there's a certain look to most of the AI, the style of it. Okay. I just want to clear the deck. So what I do before I read on another topic or another person I shuffle and clear it, and I think about clearing the deck seriously. And it works. Works for me anyway. Okay, so I'm going to tune into Patty and her question about the union getting her a job so she can keep that health insurance. How are things going to go with that? Or is she going to need to look for a non-union job to pay for the health insurance? You shouldn't have to do this. This is dumb. We should all have universal health care. Life's stressful enough. Stress kills us, and they're making us hark off via stress by them not paying their taxes. All right, Patty. Will the union be able to find her that interim job? Just, keep her health insurance going. How does that look for her? Patty DiAugustino. What does she need to be aware of? Okay, let's give it a shot and see what they say. Okay, we're getting the card of resourcefulness. I like that. Bear and blackberry. Ooh, that looks promising to me. It's endurance to me. You know how sturdy and strong those blackberry vines are? They keep popping up, but they do have those thorns that you got to watch out for. And if you don't get them when they're ripe, yikes, they don't taste that great. And bears are strong and resourceful. So I think this is a kind of a card of don't worry. We've got a card of abundance here, and it is paired with a card of clarity. You're going to know. I'm tending to think maybe they will have something for you. Look at that beautiful card of clarity. And it is the hawk. So that makes me feel like someone that can see. That makes me feel like somebody that's a resource person that can find you that job. And you get hollyhocks. So with these two cards, I think that a job for you is going to be found. There's a resourceful aspect to the bear and the blackberry, and then the person that looks for and sees with the hawk from above, somebody that specializes in finding that kind of, that's what I would think, finding that kind of work or care or whatever. It looks like you're going to have resources no matter what so far, or you're going to have clarity about it. All right. What else we got here? Wait a minute. Grabbing it the wrong way. Ah, you got the healing card of the bee. Ooh, I really like to see getting the honeybee and the hibiscus. Look how gorge. It's such a gorgeous card. So I think that someone's going to find that a job for you. And we have the balance card with the alpaca and the aster flower. So yes, there will be balance. I don't think you're going to be without. Doesn't look like it from the cards I'm getting for you. It's pretty straightforward, Patty. So keep us in the loop. I think that they're going to find something for you. Just from the type of cards we got, it feels pretty stable. And I like that we get balance. Let's see what y'all saying. You're 63 now. Yeah, it's hard to find work when you're older because of ageism. Let alone the fact that you've gained all that knowledge that you can teach and share and help other younger workers to do and become even better. You'd think that they would value, but they're so greedy. They deserve what they're getting, and they are going to go bottoms up. Yeah. Okay. So, Patty, I think somehow something's going to be worked out and you will have balance. It looks to me like somebody's going to find that resource, whether it's the job or a way to cover that. Um, and I'm just not getting the feeling like, yeah, girl, you need to worry. No, I'm not seeing that. It looks like that um, need will be met. So definitely, and I wouldn't think that you would um, be cavalier about it. I know you'll be doing your share of looking and applying for or putting the checking in with them. Just keep doing that. Be the kind but squeaky wheel. Do what you got to do, girl. Because I think you're not going to lose that. I think with balance, that's what we want to see. That's the kind of card that when I see that, I relax. So just let's send you some angels, send all of you some angels that are listening. We all need help. This is a bad economy. What are we kidding? And we don't have universal health care. It's just so scary that we could be a medical crisis away from being out on the street. And that's going to change, though, because as I've said before, I do have a reading that shows that we're going to get that universal health care, probably thanks to the Democratic Socialists and anyone that's wise enough to jump on board that wants to be elected. Mm? All right. Now we have Gina. Gina. Hello, hello. So she wants to know if she's going to get this apartment that she's looking at on Friday. Oh my God. You know, and when you need help, just, you know, click every button. You never know, right? If you don't try, even if that one gets knocked down, keep going. All right. So let's see, which deck? I kind of want to use this one again. I just love the creatures on it. Let's try it. All right, let me clear it. The union will refer me to jobs. The union will only get me jobs in hospital. It looks like I think they're going to find something for you because that first card was about resources. And that's almost like to me that union kind of jingle, the terms that they use. And it just to me it just feels like yes, I think they're going to find you something. All right. Sheena, apartment on Friday. All right, let's shift gears. And we want to thank the angels and the divine, our helpers, God, whatever you refer to the Most High. I like that one. Um, thank you, thank you. Please guide us. Please help us. We don't want to be out on the street without health care. All right. I'm focusing in on Gina and this apartment. Will she be getting that apartment? Will she know by Friday? Will she get the apartment Friday? Gina in the apartment on Friday. See what we get. All right. I am getting rebirth. It's the iguana and indigo. Ooh, cool. How cool is that? Renewal. Or I'm sorry, rebirth. I think so because moving is like a rebirth and contentment. Well, it doesn't say sadness. So I'm going to say with these two cards of rebirth and contentment, yes. Let's look at the flower with the cow. It's a clover, of course. I remember pulling these out and biting the white ends as a kid in in Missouri. Did you guys do that? So I say yes, Gina. The cards look favorable. Contentment and rebirth. I just love this iguana with the indigo. Isn't that neat? I like iguanas. I like all creatures great as well, except for mosquitoes and ticks. Not a fan. All right, I'm going to say yes. I'm just going to pull a couple extra for you, Gina. You get the card of renewal. You got rebirth as well. Something new here. And you get optimism. Yes, that's what we want. So I think we got a double confirmation there. Butterfly and buttercup. I think you will. I'll be shocked if you didn't. And I'll be calling that person up and say, you give that apartment to Gina, damn it. Anyway, let me know. It looks favorable. Yeah, and you got that four-leaf clover. I'm looking over. Oh my God, showing my age. All right. A heart 3. And now we are at the last reading of the live. You're scared because you're about to lose, oh baby, your cow fresh benefits. Let me just make sure I got this how I wanted this so y'all can see. Oh, maybe tall's better. All right. And don't have means to buy food. God, don't know how I will buy food next month. Will my financial situation improve? Thank you. All right, let's take a look. One thing I would suggest is wherever your local, oh God, what they call that, resource center might be. Like in my town, it's a small little coastal dinky town, but we have a resource center and sometimes they can help people with vouchers. Um, and especially since they cut these, oh yeah, you said Cal Fresh, duh. All right, let's see what we get. I'm going to use I just naturally did this without thinking. I grabbed the Rose Oracle. I don't want you going hungry, A Heart 3. We're not going to let that happen. Uh-uh. No, we are not. But seriously, like Pacifica, I don't know where you're at in California, but my little town has a resource center. Now, sometimes they're a waste of time, I know, but sometimes they can help you. Also, Glide Memorial is maybe, and if they can't help you there, they might be able to direct you to a place within your locale that can assist you. I know they do tremendous work, Glide Memorial. If you look on your phone, look online for Glide Memorial. Uh, they do and have so many programs and stuff going on. But let's just think. I can't bear it. My family, my mom nearly died of malnutrition as a child over the camps, the DP camps around Germany. So I just can't bear it. This is why I think we need community gardens in urban areas and suburban areas too. Not, it's a great way to uh, bring community together and not eat food that's been full of chemicals. And you teach people how to grow their own food. The thing is, in the cities, that land is expensive. So they just want to take it all up. But we need green areas. All right, A Heart, your cow fresh. Let's see about you and your finances. We don't want you going hungry, and we're not going to let that happen. A Heart 3. Let me just take a moment to focus on you. A Heart 3. It just really winds me up. So I got to get out of that annoyance and just try to go into my open, you know, state of mind. All right. I'm getting lighthouse. So this is you looking, all right? But also, there are places that can help. And there is, to me, finding that signal, finding that information. with the lighthouse. Now let me just click on the meaning here. Because I've got it on another thing. My um, camera might freeze up. Looks like it has, but that's okay. Don't worry, it'll come back. Just when I do this, it does that. As long as you can hear me. All right, so let's just also look at Lighthouse here because I haven't used this deck in a long time, but I know it has to do with that. All right, and thank God it's done alphabetically. Okay, Lighthouse. We're nearly there. I love this deck though. It's time to get back to using it. K, I'm at I. Let's see, J, K. Here we are. The key words for lighthouse are crown chakra, enlightenment, help. I like that. Hope. I like that even better. Guidance. Someone's going to help you. Light and safety and how to navigate, how to um, get through what you need to do, somebody helping you through a process, perhaps of getting help. Okay. So, in general, yes, there is help that will be found. Okay. And I get the end. So, I think there is going to be other people that are also in the same situation of their things ending, but it looks to me like you are going to find help. There are changes though with this end. The time, but maybe also look before it completely runs out. I see solitude. That's not bad. That's when you can think. And summer. It's going to be all right. Okay? The abundance. So for yourself, I think you're going to manage it somehow. There is help. And I really feel that strongly because you've lost those benefits and you're getting the very first card of help, hope, and guidance. I really like seeing that there for you. And I know right now you may not feel very hopeful, and that's understandable. But your last two cards, and I'm going to draw a couple more for you because I'm concerned, you know? These look good. There is something about looking after yourself, the solitude card, and then with the summer, you've got like summer abundance. It just makes me feel like you're going to swing this. And yes, food pantries. Um, my husband and one of my kids worked for them too. Check them out. My mom sometimes goes because she's nearly 80, and she can't just go get another job either. So journey, it might involve having to go to a certain place, travel to a certain spot, and focus. Also, there is some kind of process. So I feel like there's a process to getting, of course, more help. But I think with your focus on that, you're going to come through. There's some help coming. I see gentleman and the bee. I'm hoping this would be like maybe Newsom helping us for those in need, or maybe someone else in the seat of government. I get rabbit hole and masquerade. So a lot of things are going on that are not what they seem as well with these benefits. It's not that we don't have it, but they're being used, as we know, for things they shouldn't be. And maybe there's going to be somebody that's going to point that out and get that back on. But I think you're going to manage, okay? And you let us know if you're in trouble or you need some kind of help because yeah. We're not letting people go hungry. Okay. What else we have here? TikTok. There is some element of time that you need to keep in mind and communication. Get on to taking care of this, okay? Get on the horn, as they say. Get on the phone, start talking to people, and don't, be persevere. But this is a timely thing. Magic. Maybe something that you wouldn't anticipate might just squeak through. And wisdom. You actually might find someone that can help you, that has the knowledge and can assist you, that wouldn't maybe normally be there where other people are concerned. It just almost feels like luck, but there's a timing element. Okay. Decisions and knowledge. So I think it's going to be a process, but I think somehow you're going to navigate it, just like that first card did speak of navigating as well with the lighthouse, but you're going to find help and information. All right. And you come back and let us know, not where you are, car or transportation. Okay. Well, but you let us know because if you are, let's say, housebound, whatever, there might be people that are willing to help bring you that food assistance and so forth. And if you aren't sure, come back here and let us know. But get on the phone. It's talking about you need to focus on communicating, um, talking to people in, those positions. And here we have Lori saying the town that uh, delivers food to people that are housebound and pet food too. It's a matter of often digging a bit on looking online. Definitely. I see that you're going to be getting by, but it looks like it's going to be a process, a navigation to finding that help. Just be open to it and be active in looking and as timely as you can. That somehow that plays, it might be there's a deadline. You did say that there's uh before it shuts, but maybe who knows, maybe if you're able to get some sort of information more timely, you might, I don't know, benefit by it. It just looks like it's important. I think you're going to be okay. I do. And you will get help. Keep in mind the lighthouse and keep in mind that you will have to look. It's going to take effort, but you will get there. You will find that help. You will get to that resource. All right. I do get that. I hope that's helpful. Oh yeah, food box to your house once per month. All right. Also check with your doctor about dietary health concerns, 3 months of groceries. Um, all right. Call every agency. She's right. Put your name on all the lists. Just spam yourself, really. Yeah, I know you're 40, so I think you might. Now, if you have a health reasons and an inability to get to their, they can't just, I think you might just find someone that can help you with your situation. So, time is of the essence, though. So I'd say tomorrow, get cracking, and I'm sure that you will, but look up every place that you can. And if they don't know, or if they can't, ask them if they have known of somebody that has helpful information that might know. All right. Because I think you're going to be okay. And you just come back and you let us know. More heads here, better than one, as they say, even though a lot of us are menopausal. We'll figure it out. It's going to be okay. And it just makes me upset that people got to worry about not having enough food. We're not going to let you go hungry. All right. Okay. All right. And it's BlackCat Tarot. to where to come back and let us know how things are going. It does look like a bit of a process, not going to lie to you. So just put in the effort and persevere, because I feel like you're being given that lighthouse as keep hopeful. It's a bit of a navigation. There's reason to have hope. Try calling 211 first. Okay. And we're all praying for you. Got my candle lit here, lifting everyone up and our needs. All right. Oh, thank you. I think you guys are. You guys make this so much fun. And we are here. Okay. Keep knocking on every door. Perseverance. All right. And get back to us and let us know. All right, you guys. The fog's come in, so it's probably just as well. But I shall talk to you later. And on Tuesday, we have a members live, so we can blab some more then. All right. Otherwise, I'm here generally every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Hang in there, send in your angels, lifting you up. This is tough work, but we're going to do it. It's going to be okay, folks. All right. Bye.